Yeah. So with other days discussion, with the Swagger API and other discussion, we completed Spring REST, which is very much required for microservices. Microservices is extension of web services. Understanding my statement? Okay. Am I loud and clear? Am I loud and clear? Is it more volume or comfortable? Volume is too much? Super boss. Fine, boss. Shall we get into the subject? Okay. The module what we are learning is Spring Cloud. When I say Spring Cloud, don't think about it is alternate to AWS, Windows Azure, or Google Cloud. No. Spring Cloud is a module of Spring Boot or Spring Framework using which we can develop microservices. Using which we can develop microservice architecture applications. It provides a number of facilities that are required to develop microservice architecture application. Yes or no? Spring Cloud working with microservices. In Spring Boot, the microservice architecture application will be implemented with the support of Spring Cloud module and multiple other facilities. Generally, we don't prefer using Spring Framework for microservice implementation. We prefer Spring Boot a lot in the angle of Spring Boot Cloud to implement microservices. Why, sir? What microservices, according to other day small introduction I have given, every service is a separate application. So in every service, lot of common activities will be there to take care. If it is Spring Boot, such common activities will be coming through auto configuration or not. If it is Spring Boot, such common activities can be implemented through auto configuration or not. Can be implemented through auto configuration or not. Come on, guys. Super boss. Tell me. Need of microservices, that is our main topic. Monolithic applications versus SOA application versus microservice application. SOA means service-oriented architecture application. SOA means service-oriented architecture. Our web services application, especially SOAP-based web service, fall under what? SOA. Service-oriented architecture application. Got it, boss? SOA. Monolithic versus SOA versus microservice application. Super, guys. Now let's try to understand what is monolithic applications, boss. The application that packs multiple services as multiple modules in a single unit, nothing but a project, either as a var file or jar file or AR file, is called monolithic application or project. And monolithic is also one kind of architecture. And you don't believe, whatever mini projects we developed so far, whatever applications we developed so far, knowingly, unknowingly, we are following. Knowingly, unknowingly, we are following monolithic architecture. Got it? Few days back, we developed one mini project, monolithic architecture. There may be a number of layers, there may be a number of modules, but all are will be packed into single jar or var or AR file. That's why it is called monolithic architecture. Jar file, Java application archive, var file, web application archive. EAR file, enterprise application archive. EAR file, what is there, guys? Enterprise application archive. Listen, one application is equal to one project, contains multiple services as multiple modules inside the project or application. Inside the project or application. Got it? So far, the Spring MVC application, Spring Data JP application, Spring Core application, and etc. We developed are called monolithic architecture application. What application, guys? Monolithic architecture application. Even Spring MVC with Spring Data JPA or ORM, Spring JDBC that we have developed so far, except Spring REST applications are called what? Monolithic applications. Are you understanding my statement? MVC architecture applications also monolithic application. Are you understanding my statement? Okay, boss. The MVC architecture applications that we have developed so far. Fall under. What is there? Fall under. What is there? Monolithic architecture application. Monolithic architecture applications. Fall under monolithic architecture application. Everyone understanding my statement? See, guys, individual applications, combination. Anything is monolithic architecture application. Listen, guys, monolithic application or project. Service are module 1. Service are module 2. Service are module 3. Service are module 4. All of them will be packed into either single var file or jar file or EAR file. And when I say EAR file, generally it is what? var file plus jar file. Or there is one more possibility, guys. EAR file is equal to jar file plus dot. Or EAR file is equal to jar file plus var file plus var file. Right. But this is mostly used one. This is mostly used one. Understanding my statement, boss? This is mostly used one. Yes, guys. Tell me, I think already I have given. NareshIT.com, Flipkart.com, banking applications and etc. NareshIT.com, monolithic application, boss. How can we say that? Admission service, batches module, accounts module, payroll module. All of them are packed into single var or jar or EAR file. All of them are packed into single var or jar or EAR file. var for web application, jar for standalone application, non-web application, or standalone web application using embedded server. Standalone web application using embedded server. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Come on. EAR file, jar file plus this one. jar file plus this one. EAR, var file first, var file for this one. But what is the best out of all these things, guys? Okay, this is mostly used one. Mostly used one. Actually, already given, but one more time it is repeated to for. Super guys. EAR file, enterprise application. Okay. Now, EAR files are not popular because web service components also coming as var file. When EJB was there, EAR files are bit popular to represent web application plus EJB component combination. Web application plus EJB component combination together as what? EAR file. Web application plus EJB component together as EAR file. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Nowadays, EAR file is not so popular, boss. Earlier, it was popular when EJB was there. EJB components as a jar file and our web applications as var file. Var plus jar, EAR. If you want to pack web application plus EJB component together in a single file, that time we used to work with EAR file. Super, guys. Okay. I think you got the clarity. What is monolithic? And this knowledge you already have. In the initial days itself, we are having knowledge. Suppose if I develop a Flipkart application as a monolithic application, monolithic architecture application, how it will be, guys? Shopping cart. Shopping cart is a separate module. Okay, next. What is there? Sales is a separate module. Marketing, separate module. Payment, separate module. Next one. Payment, inventory, separate module. Inventory, separate module. Login activities, separate module. Because we have to show different options of logins, right? All these modules or services will be packed into single EAR var file. Will be packed into single EAR var file. What do you say, guys? And will be deployed in the web application. Will be packed into single EAR var file and will be deployed into the application. Nice, guys. Tell me next one. Build process or building the application, boss? Build process or building the application? The process of keeping application ready for execution in certain environment is called build process. The process of keeping application ready for execution in certain environment is called build process. And let me build the application. Let me build the application. What do you mean by that, Rababu? Keeping everything ready that is required for execution. Here also we have clean and build option now, boss. In Eclipse also we have a clean and build. But in Eclipse, luckily we have auto build option. Auto build option. Resa no na? You have not seen that option? Because of auto build option, we are not there. We need not to create deployment directory structure. We need not to compile. You need not to do anything. Right now, boss? Because the build process happens automatically. The directory structure preparation, compilation, creation of var, jar file, everything happens automatically. Yes or no, na? The process of keeping the application ready for execution in certain environment is called build process. Dot Java, from where we'll get dot class file. We keep property file ready. We keep other files ready. We keep libraries ready. And at the end, we kept all of them, we pack into what? Var file or jar file, including deployment directory structures. Including deployment directory structure. Yes or no? Na? In the build process of web application, the following operations are involved. The following operations are involved. Okay, boss. Following operations are involved. The following operations are involved. Yeah. Tell me, what is A, guys? Deployment directory structure. Directory structure, creation or generation. Compilation of source files. Compilation of source files. Adding jar files to class path. Class path or build path. Deployment directory structure. Deployment directory structure. Class path or this one. D. Keeping jar files to webinf/lib folder. Okay, webinf/lib folder. Keeping write files in right location of deployment directory structure. Write files in right location of deployment directory structure. Yes or no, na, boss? Packing everything to where are jar. Packing everything to where are jar. Okay, understood. You are worried about numbers, I am worried about content. Okay, fine, boss. I respect your numbering worry. Right, guys? These are the things. In build process, development of source code, compilation of source code, development of helper resources like properties file and other files, adding API libraries and etc. operations will be there. At last, the var file or jar file will be created representing the whole project. Var file or jar file will be created representing the whole project. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Come on. Representing the whole project. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? What is the difference? What is the difference between application and service? Application or service or API? Application or service or API. Understanding? When I say API, application programming interface. This API is also called library. When I say API, don't think about RESTful web service every time. Library. Yes, API means application programming interface. It is base for programmer to develop certain language or technology or framework application. In Java, API comes in the form of what? Packages having classes, interfaces, enums, and annotations. These APIs will be released or available in the form of what? jar files, nothing but libraries or dependencies. Three types of APIs are there. Predefined APIs, user-defined API, third-party API. Predefined means given by language or technology or framework vendor. User-defined means given by developer. Third party means given by third party vendor. So what is the final conclusion on API and service, guys? Application or service is the outcome of build process, either in the form of jar file or var file, having certain tasks to perform. Understanding my point? In the development of application or service, in certain language or technology or framework, we take the support of APIs. The existing APIs or libraries can be used to create what? New APIs or libraries or projects or applications or services. Okay, array, listen, boss. Don't think much. JDBC API, Servlet API, Spring API, Spring Boot API. I'm talking about those APIs. These API word is nowhere related to RESTful web services. Are you understanding? API word is used in two angles, boss. API word is used in two angles. Angle one, to represent library. Other one is to represent RESTful web service. One is to represent library. One is to represent RESTful web service. Context to context, its meaning will change. Context to context, its meaning will change. Understanding my statement? Yeah, listen, guys. These two notes are very important. In the development of application or services, in certain language or technology or framework, we take the support of APIs. The existing APIs or libraries can be used to create what? New APIs or libraries or projects or applications or services. Now listen, we can use Hibernate API directly to develop Hibernate persistence logic or Hibernate application. The Spring creators have used same Hibernate API to develop what? Spring ORM APIs and Spring Data JPA APIs. So first point, first line represent first point. We are using Hibernate API to develop Hibernate persistence logic. First point is satisfied. The Spring creators have used same Hibernate API to develop Spring ORM APIs and Spring Data JPA APIs. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Everyone getting my point there or not? Super. Okay, now listen, small note I have to give. API in programming is nothing but library that comes in the form of jar files. Libraries, library or libraries. Library or libraries that comes in the form of what? That comes in the form of jar files. That comes in the form of jar files. Next, guys, API in web services is nothing but the provider or server or producer application. API in web services is nothing but the provider or server or the provider or server or producer application. What guys? Provider or server or producer application. Okay. Producer application representing distributed services. What is that? Distributed services having interoperability. I think all these words you studied or not studied. So the word API is used in two angles, boss. The word API is used in two angles. In a regular programming as a base to develop the application. In web services, API is nothing but the provider or server or producer application representing distributed services having interoperability. What do you mean by interoperability? Consumer can be there in any language without worrying about where producer application is developed. I hope you remembered that interoperability word. I hope everyone remembered the word called interoperability. The consumer can be there in any place without worrying about where producer application is developed. Yes or no? Na? API in web services is nothing but the provider or server or producer application representing what? Distributed services having interoperability. Yes or no? Na? Super, guys. If someone asks you what is API, you have to ask a reverse question. You need to ask a reverse question. Should I explain in programming perspective? Should I explain in web services perspective? Everyone understanding the statement, guys? jar file purpose will change context to context. Jar file represents APIs. Jar file represents JDBC driver. Jar file represents standalone web application. Jar file represents VJB component. Jar file represents web application. Okay, indirect. Jar file represents standalone application or project. Jar file represent API. Jar file represent web service API. Jar file represents tell me guys, web service. Jar file represents web service provider or server or producer application. Provider or producer application. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Jar file represents API. Jar file represents JDBC driver. Jar file represents standalone application. Jar file represents EJB component. Jar file represents web application var file. Jar file represents, what is this? Standalone application or project. Jar file represent web service provider or service or producer application. Or it can represent anything, Rabo. It can represent anything. Is that clear, guys? What is an API in Java? What is an API in Java? Okay. Okay. Answer. Answer. API in programming is APA. APA in programming is APA in programming of language or technology or framework is uh, library uh, that is required for application. Next, API in API in web services is, I think already I have given, I'm just giving clarity. API in web services is, tell me guys, web services is the server or producer or the server or producer or the server or producer or provider application. Provider application. Yeah. Now listen, why I'm raising this question, you will understand. What is an API outside of Java? What is an API? Okay, in outside of Java. What is an API in outside of Java? What is an API in outside of Java? Understanding my statement, guys? Super, guys. Okay. API is web service provider application. The web service API is the web service provider or server or what is this? Producer application. Yeah. Array, if UI team says API, .NET team says API, come on. Some other team says API. You take it as a web service only. You take it as a web service. When Java guy says API, okay, Java guy says API, you say, in what context you are talking? In what context you are talking? Understanding my statement? In what context you are talking? You should put the reverse question. Right now, boss? You should put the reverse question. You must put the reverse question. Okay. JDBC API, Servlet API, JMS API. You might have heard these words. They are different from web service APIs. They are different from web service API. So I think this is most confusing part for all the students. At least today you got the clarity, boss. Today your confusion is gone. Confusion is gone. Super, guys. Next one, deployment oblique installation, boss. Deployment oblique installation. The process of keeping web application WAR file in the server, either that is running or that will be started later. That will be started later. Understanding my statement? Will be started later or will be started later. Or will be started later. will be started later is called deployment. Everyone understanding? The process of keeping web application WAR file in the server, either that is running or will be started later, is called deployment. Is called deployment. Everyone understanding my boy? Array, so far we do that so many deployments, Ra Babu. Lot of Servlet JSP level we deployed the web application. Spring MVC level we deployed the web application. Okay, yes. Few days back also we deployed the RESTful web applications, right? RESTful web service also some kind of deployment in server na boss. It could be a embedded server or what? It could be a embedded server or what? A normal server. Super. Web server or application server, guys. This is my web application, which is in the form of WAR file. We generally develop that one outside. Using IDE. Later, we try to deploy in the. We try to keep in the server. Is called deployment or not? Okay. Some people also says deployment as installation. Okay, but that is a rarely used term. Most of the time we use what? The word deployment. Okay. Super, guys. Tell me next one. Note the process of keeping the developed web application in web server. Is called deployment. The reverse is called undeployment. And the reverse is called undeployment. Convinced, my dear? Got it? Reverse is called undeployment. Super means super, boss. Tell me. In the development or testing environment, the deployment takes place in local servers or software companies' cloud accounts. Software companies' cloud account. I think everyone understood the meaning of this statement, guys. Okay. In development or testing, where it happens in software company. So either software company maintain infrastructure servers deployment happens, or nowadays software companies stopped constructing infrastructure, boss. They are also using what? Cloud environment for development and testing, right now, boss? So they create a cloud account, we connect it to that cloud account, and we deploy there, we build there, we test there. Yes or no, na? Or software companies cloud account. Understanding? Companies, I think better to go in this angle. Past PS. Software companies cloud account. Clear, my dear? In the development or testing environment, deployment takes place in local server or software companies cloud account. AWS or GCP or Azure and etc. Next, in the UAT and production, the deployment takes place in the client organization servers or client organization's cloud account. Come on, guys. How many of you understood this line, man? Come on. Guys, can you respond it? I think from so many days I'm keep on highlighting it, right? In the development or testing environment, deployment takes place in local server. That means company maintained infrastructure or company maintain Google Cloud infrastructure. Company maintain Google Cloud infrastructure. Company's cloud account. Okay. In UAT happens after release of the project. Production happens after release of the project, right? The deployment takes place in the client organization servers or client organization's cloud account or client organization's cloud account. And nowadays, companies stopped creating infrastructure. Minimum infrastructure they will create, boss. That's it. Maximum time they try to use cloud infrastructure. So software company have their own account of cloud infrastructure. Client organization will have their own account of cloud infrastructure. So deployment and testing happens, software company's cloud account. And UAT and production happens. That's why people should learn which courses, AWS, DevOps code. Nowadays, build and deployment team has come separate team. Full stack developer, you should be master of every place. But build and deployment team has come separately. Especially DevOps and AWS is picking up because of this team. Because of this team only, DevOps and AWS is picking up. Everyone understanding, guys? Because that's their responsibility to make sure that the developed code and tested code will be deployed smoothly every time. Will be deployed smoothly every time without having much problem. Will be executed smoothly in the production environment. For that only this DevOps tool and AWS came into picture. Jenkins, come on. Super, boss. Tell me, guys, how build process takes place in real-time companies. How the build process takes place in real-time companies. Using Maven Gradle tool in combination with Jenkins. Earlier, only Maven Gradle, Babu. Only Maven Gradle. But now they are going for Jenkins CI/CD configuration. What do you mean by CI? Continuous integration, continuous deployment. Now listen, guys. Why these Jenkins have come? Why the DevOps model of SDLC says? Why to wait for every week for changes? Every day you develop, every day you test, every day you release. Come on, guys. That means there should be a tool of continuous deployment and continuous integration. There should be a tool of continuous deployment and continuous integration, that too in an automated environment, and that is Jenkins. That is Jenkins, Ramo. What's the beauty of Jenkins? You know, you do one change in .java. Okay. You do one change in .java, that will be compiled, that will be built, that will be coming to Jenkins, and Jenkins pushes to server automatically. It's a continuous process, Rabo. Yeah, if you can have some scripts, boss, to control those activities, some scripts are there. Before arrival of Jenkins, only Maven Gradle is used for build process because it's all about getting var file, right? It's all about getting var file. But that should happen for every change happened in the source code. For every test that is happened on the source code, right? So that's why they have gone for Jenkins tool, which supports what? CI/CD process. What is CI/CD? Continuous integration, continuous. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Jenkins can be linked with Maven or Gradle, so that it can take the outcome of Maven Gradle build process and can be given to what? Server continuously. Server continuous. Tell me, guys, how do you pack application or service or project into a single unit having entire environment for projection? having entire environment for execution. This is very important question, guys. These are the few questions that you will be asked in the interview room. How build process takes place in real-time companies. Old days Maven Gradle. Now Maven Gradle with Jenkins. Okay. Only code packing, WAR file or jar file. Environment packing. Along with the environment. Along with the environment. There is a word called Docker image. There is a word called Docker image. What's the specialty of Docker image? You know, it contains code plus server plus database plus OS plus everything that is required to execute the application. Environment packing will happen in Docker image. I'll ask simple question, guys. Embedded system, you know, embedded system. What's the difference between regular application and embedded system application? Tell me. To execute regular application, we need a computer, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? You need a computer. Though your application is using 10% resources of the computer, please listen. 10% resources of the computer, you should keep 100% computer ready while executing the application. Am I right? I'm talking about a general application, regular application, general systems. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Wow. Now look at embedded systems, guys. Embedded system. Application is developed along with the virtual operating system. Along with the virtual operating system, it will be kept in a chip, one electronic chip, right? It will be kept in one electronic chip. And the chip will be attached to car. The chip will be attached to AC. The chip will be attached to what? Washing machine. Now tell me, guys. Tell me, guys. While developing embedded system application, if you are using 5% resources of the computer, only that 5% will be brought out and will be kept into the chip, and the chip will be moved wherever you want or not. And along with the chip only OS will move. Along with the chip only entire system is moving. Come on, my dear. Docker image is also same thing. Docker image is also same thing, boss. You may use 100 things in your computer, but not the entire computer while running any application. Gathering those required setup and softwares and code to execute the application, putting in a separate place is called Docker image. What's the beauty, you know? What's the beauty, you know? If you move that Docker image to any computer, any operating system, any architecture, it will happily run. Because whatever required, they are there in the image. Including operating system, everything is there. Including operating system, everything is there. At least you got the idea? Okay. What is the role of Jenkins, guys? According to DevOps SDLC. According to DevOps SDLC. Array, Agile is also going out of date, right? Agile also goes slowly going. Nowadays, DevOps model SDLC is going on. DevOps is not just tools, Rababu. DevOps is one kind of SDLC, which is using best of Agile and some plus plus. Agile is not completely gone. Best of Agile plus some additional things, which says most of the things should happen through automation. According to DevOps model of SDLC, Jenkins says, okay, don't wait and deploy, boss. It should be continuous. It should be continuous. When our programmer decides this code is unit tested, when our tester decides these testings are passed, it should be deployed immediately. It should be deployed immediately, not patch kind of releases. For that one, there should be a continuous integration and deployment tool. That is nothing but, boss, Saurav Kumar Nayak, if you are trying for Java developer, not required. If you are trying for full stack Java developer, required. DevOps and AWS is required. It all depends upon what role you are targeting. Yes, boss. Shall we get into the next level? I think you understood the difference between code packaging and environment packaging, boss. Super. Guys, be active, boss. Please. If you are not active, I cannot go further. Service instance or application instance or instance, guys. A running application inside the server giving services to clients, either for end user or for other application, is called service instance or application. A running application that is there inside the server is technically called as what? Service instance or application instance. Each copy of application, jar or var, that is deployed in server successfully to render services to clients is called service instance. And one var file deployed in what? Web server is called one instance, right? Okay. Application or project is like class. Each deployed application or project giving services to client is called instance. Listen, one class can have multiple objects. Similarly, one application can have multiple instances. You prepared var file once. One instance is ready. You prepared 10 var file deployed in 10 servers. Of same mission or different mission. How many instances are there? How many instances are there? 10 instances are there or not? Super. One class can have multiple instances. Similarly, one application or project can be deployed in multiple servers. That means can have multiple instances or service instances. Bulb is Glona, not Glona. So application development, building it is ready for deployment. Application is ready. In how many servers you deployed? 20 servers. How many instances you kept ready? 20 instances you kept. How many instances you kept ready, boss? 20 instances you kept ready. Super. Listen, Narrative web application is application or project completed development or testing. Super, na boss? This is application is ready. You deployed in 20 servers, 20 instances are ready. You deployed in 30 servers, 30 instances are ready. I hope you are understanding my statement, guys. See, guys, web server or application server, instance 1 of Naresh IT. Instance 2 of Naresh IT. Okay. It is getting its own request. It is getting its own request. Okay. If I like this, if I deployed in 10 servers, 10 instances will be there. Why we need to have more instances, guys? To reduce the burden on each instance. Tell me, I'll ask simple question. Gmail.com is very popular in the world. Google is very popular in the world. Do you think they are maintaining single copy of google.com for giving entire services? No, no. They maintain one instance in Singapore, one instance in Dubai, one instance in Australia, one instance in US, right? One instance in India, right, boss? They will maintain or not? If they don't maintain, they can give this service fastly, boss. Server may crash, na, boss. Server may crash because each server is having limitation of taking certain amount of requests. Do you think every server can take lots of requests? Unlimited number of requests? No, no, boss. Definitely there will be limitation. Sometimes server limitation or sometimes CPU limitation, sometimes hardware limitation, right? We can deploy multiple instances or service instance of one application or project either in same server or in different servers of same mission or different missions. Are you understanding my statement, guys? We can deploy the multiple instances, service instance of one application or project, either in same server or in different servers of same mission or different missions. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Come on. Right. The creation of multiple instances for a application or project is required for load balance and transparent failover. Are you understanding my statement? How to deploy multiple instances in same server by creating multiple domains? In Glassfish, we can create multiple domains. In every domain acts as a separate web application server for load balance and for transparent failover. And for transparent failover. Yeah. What is load balance, guys? But I'll just give the glance. Tomorrow I'll talk more on it. Distributing the load. Distributing the load. Load means here request. Across the multiple instances. Are you understanding my statement? Okay. Jeshwal, wait for tomorrow. I will give all the things. Across the multiple instances. Transparent failover. Sai Kumar, web client is the terminology of Jersey model, is nowhere related to Spring REST. Is that clear, Sai Kumar? If you are developing RESTful web services using Jersey API, JAX-RS API, then web client comes into picture. I think I have already cleared this. Guys, in Spring REST template is there. Got it, guys? Transparent failover. When multiple instances are running, multiple instances of a project or application are running. Okay. If one instance is down, or crashed, Then diverting the request coming to that instance to other instance without disturbing end user is called transparent failure. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Are you understanding my statement, guys? Clear, guys? Understanding? Now listen, guys. Spring Cloud is nowhere related to physical cloud environment. Spring Cloud is for programming. Are you listening my statement? Spring Cloud is nowhere related to. I think the people who joined lately again, they are going in a wrong way. Nowhere related to the real cloud environments like AWS, Azure, and etc. It is a module of Spring or Spring Boot for microservice architecture application. Applications development. Microservice architecture applications development. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Microservice architecture application development. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Are you getting my point there, guys? Everyone getting my point here, guys? I think already clear. In Spring Boot, microservice architecture will be implemented with the support of Spring Cloud module and multiple other facilities. But lots of people think that Spring Cloud is like alternate to AWS. No. Spring Cloud is purely for programming. And it is part of Spring means how can you think that it's alternate to AWS, Rabo? Everyone understanding my statement? As Spring people are having alternate to AWS, that is PCF. Pivotal Cloud Foundry, something is there. But now they stopped giving support. Understanding my statement? If you want that clarity, I will give that. But now they stopped support. Okay. In Spring or Spring Boot, the alternate for AWS or Azure is PCF. Can you help me? What is the full form of this? Pivotal Cloud Foundry. Something. Pivotal Cloud Foundry. Okay. Now. Okay. Now they stopped giving support. And recommending us to use other popular cloud services. Understanding my statement? Other popular services. Other popular cloud services like AWS, Azure, kind of. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Yeah. Lots of people are asking me, as a Java developer, should I learn Azure or AWS? Again, I am telling, you are trying as a Java developer. Not required. You are trying as a full stack developer. Then 6 domains knowledge is required. How many domains? 6 domains knowledge is required. Java, testing, database, UI, DevOps, and cloud. Total 6 domains knowledge is clear, guys. So that's why testing means not JNitra. Testing means this one, Selenium, Apnium. Acha, Apnium is not required for you. Selenium and manual testing. Selenium and manual testing. When I say testing, JUnit is for developer. Don't separate JUnit from developer. Okay, na? Full stack developer means he's all-rounder. All-rounder means 6 domains knowledge is required. So that's why what my statement is, first become Java developer, then take the time of 2.5 years or 3 years, and slowly target to become full stack developer. Slowly become full stack developer. Dipali Power, mostly technology related questions and few project related questions will be asked for 2 years experience. Moreover, interview is a conversation. You start asking first question, then you will give reply. But it's more about development, boss. For 2 years, more of development related questions will be there, not more on processes. Okay. Thank you, guys. Microservices started. Okay. And inform to your friends. We entered into